How's it going, everyone? My name is Faerghast, and with me today is a special guest, one who's been part of my neck of the woods for a long time and has since seen greater pastures. Alfred Kamon?
Kamon.
Alfred
Kamon. Okay,
Alfred...
everyone mispronounces my name actually because in American it's pronounced Kamon, but the true pronunciation of my name is Kamon.
Kamon. Alfred Kamon, who is the creator of the ROMhack Fire Emblem Midnight Sun, and is now the creator of Path of the Midnight Sun, which is an indie game based off his ROMhack. So this is like kind of insane for like a product in the hacking community to get in, like to kind of break into the indie game development world. So Alfred, how's it going?
Fine, thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here, first of all, and yeah, I'm honored. Thank you very much.
Oh,
as you can tell, my accent is very funny because I'm Italian, and I can already see all the comments about pizza, Super Mario, mandolino, mafia. Yeah, but yeah, I'm very honored and happy to be here, and I hope we will take a good time to talk about our past projects and the future projects as well.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation. So for those who don't know, where I kind of came from and how I got into YouTube was actually through like ROM hacking Let's Plays. So I played The Road to Ruin, Death or Glory. Those are things that like Alfred and I, of course, know. And a lot of
I remember them so dearly, actually.
Yeah, and a lot of like new subscribers of mine wouldn't know, but I actually also have my own Fire Emblem 7 ROM hack that I kind of work on here and there these days, but it's still kind of on my mind. And that's kind of how Alfred and I first met. Midnight Sun has been a project that's been on kind of your plate as a ROM hack at the very least for like, what, since 2013, maybe?
Actually, I started working on Midnight Sun in 2012.
2012.
And yes, but the first release was in 2014.
Yeah. So it's been a long time. It's been a long journey. And,
you're so old, guys.
I mean, it's been a while, man. I started Bloodlines in like 2013, and now we're 6 years later, and
we were like high schooler or something.
Yeah, I was like second year university when I got into the scene there. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's like we're old, we're boomers. We're ROM hacking boomers. Can you give? So for those who are completely unaware, who don't follow either of us on Twitter, who are just kind of stumbling on this video, who don't know Midnight Sun or don't know like the kind of ROM hacking scene, what is like at its core, without getting into spoilers, what is
the plot?
The story, the plot? What is the Path of the Midnight Sun? What's it about?
All right. So in the continent of Arvium, the Demon King appeared 60 years ago. And actually, in the lore of the game, it's explained that everyone, the main countries, and the 8 legendary heroes tried to stop the Demon King, but no matter how many times he was slain, the Demon King would always be reborn. So in the end, the 5 nations tried a risky solution, but it worked. And they sealed the Demon King's soul inside of a human. Faerghast dedicates her whole life trying to keep the Demon King in check, and in exchange, she is revered as the savior of the world. That's why she's the vassal of the Demon King. And the story begins from the point of view of Faerghast, who, as I just said, is the vassal of the Demon King. She's a princess, the princess of Oikade. And she's victim of a very, very bad plot, who was tough from her mother, her stepmother, the Queen of Oikade, where basically some soldiers in her castle were brainwashed. So she was forced to kill them. But when she did that, everyone actually was told by the queen that Faerghast has lost control over the demon. So she was forced to leave her country in order to fulfill her mission of keeping the demon in check. because everyone wanted to stop her or to kill her. But if they kill her, the Demon King will be released. And yeah, that's pretty much the story at its core.
So, for those who have played Sacred Stones, there's definitely some inspiration behind that. Demon King, Sealing the Demon King, 8 Legends type deal. Why?
Don't tell mommy Nintendo.
What was the reason that Fire Emblem and Sacred Stones in particular has inspired the story of Path of the Midnight Sun, or Midnight Sun when it was in ROMhack mode?
It was very simple, man. I just hated Sacred Stones. I hated it because I liked the story so much. The premise was great. The Demon King was cool. The monsters were like never seen in any Fire Emblem for Game Boy before. But it was so short. So you didn't even have the time to grow attached to your characters.
Yeah.
That the game was already finished. And the difficulty settings were also awful because the game was really, really easy. And I think that I started hacking Fire Emblem 8 specifically because I was not satisfied with Fire Emblem 8. That's it. I was already happy with how Fire Emblem 7 was. So I was like, okay, I don't need to hack this. It's already perfect.
Yeah.
But Fire Emblem 8 was a different matter. And also because there was that very cool dark magic spell from the Gorgons that I wanted to give to Faerghast. Yeah, it was something silly like that, you know.
Yeah. Well, man, that's sweet. That's great. So now there's context for people who are like, why is this guy on why is this guy on Gas channel? So crazy, man. Like, you start from these inspirations from from Sacred Stones, and then you see these inspirations in Midnight Sun, and then you kind of keep those inspirations. So even as its own entity, there is still these inspirations from Fire Emblem, which I think is pretty cool.
Yes, as you can see, I also have some Fire Emblem merchandise down there.
There you go.
It's not even subtle, to be honest, at this point.
That's right there. How would you explain to people who don't know kind of what Midnight Sun is, how is it born, and with their motivations and the feelings behind its creation?
It's been a long time, so I needed some time to think about it. But actually, I had just finished the last year of high school, and I was preparing to go into university. And it was a period of my life in which I tried to figure out what was the best path that I should have taken. And it wasn't easy, man, to be honest, because when you finish high school, you realize that the choices that you make are going to affect basically the next 20 years of your life. You choose college or a university. You spend 5 or 7 years in college, then you spend the next 10 years repaying your debts. Then maybe you have children, and you spend the rest of your life trying to make money in order to have your children do the same life that you have had. So actually, I didn't like the fact that society seems to decide a path for every one of us. And with these kinds of thoughts in mind, I created Midnight Sun as a means to express myself and to find an alternative world where my characters could express my feelings at the end of the day. And it was born as a project that it was kind of sad, to be honest, because Midnight Sun for me was like the world where I could go whenever I didn't feel happy in real life.
Yeah.
And I believe that many creators may find something similar to this in their own work or art. Yeah. And so yeah, it started off like something a bit depressing, and And it was like even more hard for me to work on this project when I first presented it in 2012, because the criticism, man, was so harsh.
Oh my god.
they killed me.
Yeah,
They literally killed me.
it was so hard to like have to like, hey guys, I'm this fresh new face in the hacking community. Like, hey, check out my project. And then you have people who are like, this is awful. Why is the art so bad?
Sucks.
Why is this main character a dog? What a stupid idea. And I'm just like, yeah, it's always rough. It was rough. It was rough back then.
Please.
Yeah, like you put so much effort, and then just like these random guys just like, yeah, this looks terrible. You're not gonna go anywhere with this. And I was just like, all right.
Yeah, because
it was received that way, but over the course of time, like, of course, you worked on it, you chipped away at it, and there was a point where, like, everyone was talking about Midnight Sun. Like, it was the hack to play, and, like, it was being praised. I mean, it was for a while. It kind of, like, it was one of the first FE8 hacks that were, like, pretty full-on before, like, FE8 became just the wave. And,
yes,
like,
that's
FE7
true.
became, like, an afterthought. So, like, I'm kind of in this weird spot where, like, I'm asking for, like, help on, like, on FEU, and they're like, why are you hacking FE7? I'm like, I started with, dog, like, sorry. So
this
how
Fire Emblem racism.
So how do you go from starting with kind of a, like I said, tumultuous beginning into its kind of run in 2014, 2015, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I just didn't surrender, I think. I wasn't afraid of failure. And even if it was very hard for me, I tried to find the good messages within all that harsh criticism. Mm-hmm. And I tried to improve the game until I was sure that the next time that I presented something from the game, everyone would have liked it. And in fact, between the first time that I released the patch of Midnight Sun in 2012 and the actual Midnight Sun that everyone loved, almost 2 years passed.
Yeah.
And I worked underground for 2 years because I was I was almost afraid of harsh criticism at that point. But I was sure that I still needed to do it because Midnight Sun was very important for me. It was just like the proof that I could walk my own path in life. I know that maybe it seems a very big thought for just a ROMhack.
Yeah.
And maybe it is, but given the symbolism that Midnight Sun had for me, I just needed to complete it.
Yeah.
And that kind of motivation gave me the strength day after day to keep working on it. And in the end, when I released it, I was just happy. I didn't know if people would have liked it or not, but personally, I was satisfied with everything that I had done until then. Mm-hmm. And I was also happy that other people liked it, of course.
What happened to the project between 2015 and 2017?
Yes, I will say 2017. 2017 was actually when I canceled the project. And I would like to explain what happened in the meantime that led me to the decision that Midnight Sun had to be cancelled. Because many people still are unaware of my true motivations. But actually, it's very simple. When I released Midnight Sun, I realized that I didn't have any motivation to finish the project anymore. Because my main goal, as I said, when I started the project in 2000, was to impress other people about the project, especially those people that gave me harsh criticism back then. And I also wanted to create my own world that resonated with my feelings. Mm-hmm. And I think that in the first 10 chapters, the amount of feelings that I poured into the project were already everything that I could give to the project as a person at the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any more passion or soul to give that kind of Midnight Sun when I arrived in 2016. And my main motivation to keep working on the project didn't resonate with me very much, and I realized that I was just keeping working on it because people were asking for new patches.
Yeah.
and and you can work on something without passion, in my opinion, and that's just not how it works at all. And many of the characters in Menai-san are parts of myself, like Faerghast, the main character, the princess with the Demon King sealed inside of herself, has dedicated her whole life to controlling the demon, and she isn't free. She never was, and she just feels like she has to keep the demon in check, but she will just like to live a normal life. And I realized that basically it's the same thing that I was feeling when I started the project in 2012 until 2015, because as I said, I felt like I was I needed to walk the path of society, and I was desperately trying to find my own way in life. And but I knew that I couldn't, because it wasn't so easy. And at the end of the day, I still graduated from university. Everything went good, but it was very hard for me. So whenever I think of Faerghast, I think of that side of myself that still didn't have any answers in life in 2012. And in 2017, when I started to feel way better, and when I started to lack the motivation and the passion that made me work on Minai-san, and also when I couldn't afford to spend so many hours on a project that didn't give me any kind of monetization, everything crumbled, and I realized that the best decision was just to cancel the project, because it was becoming a pain to work on it. And I just couldn't lie to everyone who was looking forward to the project anymore. I realized that I would have needed at least 4,000 hours to complete the patch.
Yeah.
And
that's the truth, man. Like, when you're thinking of these long-term projects, and it's like, it took me how many years to get this far, and you expect me to do that like 2 times over? Like, yeah, I mean, it's great that, like, I mean, I have my own dedicated group of folks who, like, I work with, well, for story and graphics and stuff, but still, it's like, you have to, like, you're investing so much time, and like,
it's really overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, and it's just like the reality hits in where it's like you don't have infinite time, and you're not going to be infinitely in university or infinitely like sheltered or whatever. So, yeah. But that kind of brings me to like the next question here. So we have this kind of progress between 2012 with the first patch, get the criticism, get the second patch out. Then a few years later, you're really feeling like happy in life, and you're losing motivation because you feel like you've kind of proven yourself already. In that first patch, just be like, hey, guess what? This project is sick. You know, eat that. So, but what happens? So what happened now? Because honestly, this kind of took me by surprise, and kind of everyone like internally in the hacking community and kind of everywhere, where it was like, oh, hey, Alfred is now making a visual novel slash like turn-based RPG. It's like, and with like famous professionals, voice actors. So like, how do you go from there to creating Studio Daimon? And ultimately, you know, getting funding for this project, and then just kind of riding that wave, that kind of thing. Where do you go from 2007 to 2019? How'd that happen?
Actually, there is that 2 years gap where I tried to get a normal job, let's say.
Okay.
And yes, I became an HR consultant in a very big corporation, and everything was going well, very well, man, actually. And they also wanted to give me a promotion.
Okay.
But at some point, I realized that I wasn't happy. Because after you spend so much time on a project, leaving it just half completed, it doesn't taste good, to be honest.
No, it doesn't.
It makes you feel like you you didn't try hard enough. And I didn't want to have any regrets in life. I didn't want to get to 30 or 40 years old thinking, oh my God, I never finished Midnight Sun.
Yeah.
It was so important for me.
Yeah.
I started this when I was young, and I worked on this day and night for 3-4 years, and I never finished it. I didn't want to have that kind of thoughts, to be honest, when I was older. And so I said to myself, fuck everything. I'm 25 years old. This is the right time in your life to try to follow your dreams. So just do it. And I did it. I told my boss, hey, thank you for everything, but I realized this isn't what I want to do in my life. And I resigned. And 1 month later, I was searching for the people that would become the artists and composers for Studio Daimon.
Yeah.
And everything was so crazy and hard at first. I also had to break up with my girlfriend after 5 years because she said that that this project was gonna become a little bit crazy, and she was right. I mean, when you abandon your job for something so risky,
Yeah.
I can't blame people for telling you that you are kind of crazy, but I didn't care because it was my dream, and I tried my best to follow it. And day after day and failure after failure, because I failed so many times, man. The game really was hard to code. It was hard to find the right people. There were problems basically every day, and failure after failure, I didn't surrender. And I believe that I managed to create something that I was finally happy about. And when it came the moment to present the project to other people it was 5 days ago, I was literally trembling because all the overwhelming emotion from working for another 3,000 hours on this project in a time span of 8 months was getting on me. And but in the end, I was happy because I knew this time that I didn't have any regrets, because I knew that I tried my best. And this is a feeling that I didn't have when I first worked on Midnight Sun.
Yeah.
Because the first Midnight Sun, the ROMhack, was born as a sad project, while this project was born as a project of true love and true passion, actually.
So you leave it all behind, and then you create Studio Daimon afterwards, or you start working on the game then Studio Daimon? Like, how does what comes first, or what's the process between you leaving your job and then working on this until like when do you get the voice actors and the artists and stuff? Like, how does that come in?
That's a very good question. Actually, I left my job in January of this year, and I started working on the engine in February.
Okay.
And I didn't find anyone to help me until mid-April. The first person I found was Nene. And hi Nene, if you're watching this video. She is the lead artist. She's amazing, guys, check her out. And but yeah, I worked on the engine and on the codes of the game for 2 months alone. And that was the hardest period, honestly, because you had to design the whole game. And I also had to design something that was different from Fire Emblem, you know. I didn't want the Nintendo ninjas to hit me. And but yeah, so in the first 3 or 4 months, it was just me and Nene. And Nene did an amazing job. She did all the characters, the backgrounds, and much more. So I could say that 70% of the art in the game is made by her. And I also tried to contact some Live 2D artists, because the game is animated in Live 2D.
Yeah.
And we started animating the characters that Nene made in May of this year, yes. And after 2 or 3 months, other people came. My dear friend Andrea, who is the orchestra director and composer of the project, because we have a fully orchestrated soundtrack.
Crazy.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. About this, actually, I want to say that when we were 15, so 10 years ago, I made a promise with Andrea, and he told me that one day he will make the soundtrack of one of my games. It's like Bakuman, you know, basically. And 10 years later, we are here trying to achieve our dreams. I never really realized that that promise will actually become true someday, because it was really crazy. But here we are. You never know what destiny has for you, you know.
Yeah, man.
And this happened in June and July. So we worked on the game with Nene, the live 2D animators, Andrea, and then in September we made the UI with Kat. And actually the battle backgrounds are made by another artist that doesn't want to reveal her identity yet.
Okay.
So I won't say it. And the voice actors and actresses were contacted actually in October. It was very, very late. And because of course we needed the text of the game to be ready.
Yeah.
Because it would be really bad if you make the voice actors work on some lines that get changed later. And I was very happy because we found really amazing voice actors.
Yeah.
Our cast is very brilliant all around, and there are very, very, very talented voice artists. So check it out. And yeah, I think that's all, maybe.
Yeah. Wow. So
yeah, and I also want to say that all of this was done in 8 months.
Yeah.
And I worked on the game for 2,900 hours ever since, which was almost the same amount that I have spent on Midnight Sun, the original hack, in 3 years.
So you.
So if you do your maths, it's
was,
like
yeah, geez.
80 hours a week.
80 hours a week, man.
Yeah.
So what was like an average week for you? Like, let's say you're 1,500 hours in at this point. Maybe it's like, I don't know, like July or August or something.
Okay. So
what do you do Monday through Sunday? Is it literally just wake up, code, and then go to bed and eat in between?
basically, yes. No, it's actually a little bit more interesting than that, because if you work so much on a project, eventually you're gonna burn out. That's just normal. So I try my best to do very different activities, even if it was just like 1 hour a day, in order to keep my mind fresh and my motivation high.
Yeah.
So I try to see different friends every day and to organize dinners or to see my relatives. And sometimes I spent entire afternoons working on a game at my aunt's house. And she also has a very beautiful dog that resembles Zeke, actually.
Hey! That's awesome.
And yeah, so I tried to not make coding boring, because otherwise I would have snapped.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Yes, so I worked every day, including Saturday and Sunday, and I still didn't have a single day off ever since February. And but yeah, and honestly, I'm feeling way better now than last year when I was working on my full-time job at the corporation.
Yeah.
Because I really like what I'm doing now, and I don't feel tired at all, because I see my friends, I see my relatives, I'm working on what I like, I interact with amazing people online. Sometimes you think that you don't have time, but maybe people don't manage their time very well sometimes, maybe. Like you can say that you don't have time if you spend 4 hours a day on YouTube, for example.
Yeah. Time management is a dagger for a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I tried to work a little bit less in July when Three Houses came out. I still didn't manage to finish all the routes, only Edelgards. who's
Yeah.
best girl. But yeah, I had fun in this year, to be honest.
Unreal. Wow, that's quite a story, man. Like, you went, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. That's unreal to, like, just lay it all down there and be like, I'm gonna make this game and I'm gonna finish it. And, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're one of those products who like wanted to get something done, and then he did what he had to do, and like 80-hour days or 80-hour weeks. Out like thousands and thousands of hours poured in, and now it must feel like awesome to see, you know.
Yes, it does. It does.
To like kind of to not like I'm sure you're not like finished, but like there's always going to be like the journey's still not finished completely yet, so
no, it isn't. It isn't.
So,
but anyway, I don't want to give the message to our viewers that in order to achieve your dreams, you have to overwork yourself like I did. I'm kind of a special case, actually. But the true message that I want to convey is that the same way that I didn't like the path that society has prepared for me, and I did the path of the midnight sun, the same way I think you can also achieve your own dreams. I think that people sometimes are afraid of failures. They think, oh my god, maybe I'm trying to invest so much time into something and it's gonna go bad. But just do it. Who cares? Don't be afraid of failures.
Yeah.
Even the best stories of success are full of failures, because you learn from experience, you learn from your mistakes. And if I hadn't made so many mistakes in the past, in my first days of Midnight Sun or even later, this path of the Midnight Sun would have never come to light. Never.
Yeah.
So just man on and remember that you can do it. I think you can do it. Just never be afraid of failure.
You heard it here. Don't be afraid of failure. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Wow. So yeah, when we were talking before, I was just kind of thinking like, just like both came from the ROM hacking community and Fire Emblem, and I mean, we've taken such different paths. Like, you've gone into full-on game development, and then I've gone into like YouTubing a lot, but I'm still like, I still have like my personal training job and that kind of thing. But it's just really cool to think about how like two people from the same community are just kind of doing diverging things. But yeah,
yes,
it's pretty neat, I think. What is the next step for the project? How do you, so is there a release date? Is there something that you can tell the viewers to look forward to, that kind of thing?
Yes, actually, we will release a demo in February, at the end of February.
Okay.
We still think, since development, as you already know, is very unpredictable. Maybe we think that maybe we will have some minor delays, like even the late 2020 release date may be shifted by probably 2 or 3 months, because honestly, as Shigeru Miyamoto once said, a rushed game is surely bad, but a delayed game is eventually good. Yeah. And I think he was right. So since we value quality over anything else, I think that we'll be delaying the game a few months if we see that we need that time.
Yeah. So Alfred, if someone wants to get involved with the project or support the project or that kind of thing, what can they do to help you and Daimon and Path of the Midnight Sun come to fruition in the end of February?
Well, first of all, they can just leave a comment down here, because I wrote, and I'm sure the Gas does the same. And even just some words of support are very important to us, and they keep our motivation high.
Mm-hmm. So leave a comment.
If you want to, yes, comment, subscribe to Gas. And if you want to actually contribute to the Kickstarter campaign, you can do that by following the link that you will find in the video description, Gas. Yes. All right. And also you can follow our game updates on Twitter. Our Twitter account is called #Studio Daimon. Or you can follow me directly. I'm Alfred Kamon. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. So guys, hope you enjoyed this special little interview. It's actually fun. It kind of harkened me back to the good old Fire Emblem hacking days. And I wouldn't say those days are behind us quite yet. I hope that one day, like, I'll kind of get fired up again and, you know, at least finish that patch of Bloodlines, because I think it'd be pretty cool to kind of at least get that much out, because there's so much stuff that has been changed, that kind of thing.
I'm really looking forward to Bloodlines as well, guys, to be honest. It was amazing. The world building, the characters, the battle animations were crazy, really. That was the best part.
Thanks, man.
In my
I
opinion.
appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully, maybe this is going to fire me up, right? Maybe this is going to motivate me
come on.
to get it done.
You can do it.
Thanks. So, guys, that's going to do it for us today. Alfred, thanks so much for coming on. Really happy to have you, and really happy that you're turning your passion into a legit can get on the Nintendo Switch type deal. So, hopefully, you know, all the best, man. I'm rooting for you, and so are we. Both in my community and kind of all over Twitter, and the Fire Emblem community as well, is definitely hoping for the best for you. You are a product of the old ROM hacking corner, after all. Is there anything else? Is there anything you kind of wanna say to wrap things up?
Yes. Remember that pizza is the best food in the world, and and thank you very much for listening to this beautiful conversation between me and Gast. And yeah, see you in the comments then.
All right, deuces, fellas.